Concept 14 is rational expressions, and we have 6 different rational expressions that need to be simplified here. So on part A, we're adding these expressions, which means we need a common denominator. First step is to factor the denominator of the first fraction, x minus 3 times x plus 2, so that it's clear what's missing in the denominator of the second fraction. The second fraction is missing the factor x minus 3, so we need to multiply it by x minus 3 on the top and on the bottom. Now that both fractions have the same denominator, I know that the sum of these two fractions will have the same denominator as these two have, x minus 3 and x plus 2. The sum of the numerators would be 7 plus, this needs to get distributed, 4x minus 12. And then if we combine like terms, that would be 4x minus 4. 4x minus 5. And then over x minus 3, x plus 2. Here, nothing cancels out, so this entire expression would be our answer. On part B, we already have a common denominator, and we're subtracting these fractions. So 2 minus x minus the entire quantity 6 minus 3x is being subtracted. So I'm going to put it in parentheses. And again, we already have a common denominator, so that denominator is the denominator of our answer. We need to simplify though, so in this case 2 minus x, this needs to get distributed, so it'll be minus 6 and positive 3x. And then simplifying the numerator, this would be negative 4 plus 2x over 4x. And then we can factor the numerator. This has a GCF of 2. And then we're left with an x minus 2 and a 4x in the bottom. The only thing that can reduce is the 2 and the 4. So reducing that, 2 goes into 2 once, 2 goes into 4 twice. We're left with an x minus 2 in the numerator and a 2x in the denominator. On part C, we're multiplying these expressions. So we need to factor as much as possible and then cancel. So the numerator here is x minus 4 times x plus 1. The denominator is a difference of squares, x plus 4, x minus 4, times, here there's a GCF of x, and here we have another difference of squares. Now that everything's factored, we can look for common factors that cancel. The x minus 1s cancel here. The x plus 1s cancel. The x minus 4s cancel. And we're left with an x in the numerator and an x plus 4 in the denominator. Alright, on part D, here we're just simplifying. There's nothing that needs to be factored. This expression is being cubed. So 2 is cubed, that gives us 8. X is cubed. Y to the 4th cubed, here we need to multiply the exponent, so y to the 12th, and then z is being cubed. In the denominator, I'm going to rewrite this expression. So we need to reduce this. 8 divided by 4 is 2. We have x cubed in the numerator, x to the 4th in the denominator, so that leaves an x to the 1st power in the denominator. The y to the 12th completely cancel out. And the z's, we have a z cubed and a z to the 5th, so there's a z squared left in the denominator. Alright, on E, we just have one fraction, so we need to factor and cancel on this one. Here we have a difference of squares, x plus 7, x minus 7, and here we have a trinomial, x plus 7 times x minus 2. So we can see that the common factor x plus 7 cancels, and we have an x minus 7 over x minus 2. Alright, our last rational expression that we need to simplify here is a division problem. I'm going to rewrite it as a multiplication problem. So the first fraction stays the same, but I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal of this fraction. So the denominator comes to the numerator, and the numerator comes to the denominator. So we need to simplify these fractions. I'm going to simplify the first fraction here. 4 divides by 2, so that's 2 over 1. X squared over x would leave an x in the numerator, and y to the 5th over y cubed leaves a y squared in the numerator. Then on our second fraction, the 8 doesn't reduce at all. X squared in the numerator, x to the 6th in the denominator leaves 4, x to the 4th in the denominator. Y cubed divided by y would leave a y squared up here. So if we continue to simplify, we have in the numerator 2x y to the 4th over 8x to the 4th. And then we can still reduce here. The 2 goes into 8 4 times. And then we have an x up here and an x to the 4th down here. So that would leave x cubed in the denominator, a 4 in the denominator, and then a y to the 4th in the numerator.